You're literally glowing right now. And no, I'm not being metaphorical. Your cells are emitting tiny particles of light as we speak. Today, we're exploring the fascinating science of human bioluminescence and its surprising connection to ancient accounts of divine radiance. We'll discover how modern science proves we're all walking light sources, and what this means for understanding historical accounts of supernatural glow. Let me bring in our resident expert to illuminate this brilliant topic.
Thanks. And you know what's amazing? Scientists have actually measured this light emission. According to recent research from the Frontiers in Systems Neuroscience, our cells emit what are called biophotons, extremely weak light particles that form part of our cellular communication network.
Wait, so we're actually giving off measurable light?
Exactly. The research shows we emit a few hundred to 1,000 photons per square centimeter per second. It's too weak for our eyes to see, but it's definitely there.
That's incredible. But how does this actually work?
Well, it's fascinating. These biophotons are generated by normal cellular metabolism, particularly when reactive oxygen species interact with cell membranes. Think of it as tiny flashes of light produced by your cell's natural activities.
And this isn't just random light, right?
Not at all. According to the research, these emissions show organization similar to laser light. They might actually form an ultra-fast communication network between our cells.
You know, this makes me think about all those ancient accounts of people glowing with divine light.
Ah, yes. One of the most famous examples is Moses after he came down from Mount Sinai.
Tell us more about that.
According to Exodus 34, when Moses came down from Mount Sinai after speaking with God, his face was literally radiant. It was so intense that he had to wear a veil because people were afraid to come near him.
That must have been quite a sight.
Indeed. And what's particularly interesting is that this wasn't just a one-time event. The text says Moses would remove the veil when speaking with God and put it back on when addressing the people.
You know, there's something similar in the story of Lucifer too, isn't there?
Yes, the name Lucifer actually means light bringer in Latin. It was originally the name for the planet Venus when it appears as the morning star.
Oh, that's fascinating. I always thought it was just a name for the devil.
Right, the association with evil came later. In Roman folklore, Lucifer was actually personified as a male figure bearing a torch, representing the dawn.
And this connects to the idea of light as a symbol of divine truth?
Exactly. In Christian theology, Jesus is referred to as the light of the world. This title appears prominently in the Gospel of John, where Jesus says, "I am the light of the world. Whoever follows me will never walk in darkness."
And this culminates in the Transfiguration, right?
Yes, that's one of the most dramatic manifestations of divine light in the New Testament. Jesus took 3 disciples up a mountain to pray, and suddenly his appearance changed. His face shone like the sun, and his clothes became dazzling white.
That sounds similar to what happened with Moses.
There's definitely a parallel. In fact, Moses appears during the Transfiguration, along with Elijah, representing the law and the prophets.
You mentioned earlier about biophotons being involved in cellular communication. Could there be any connection to mental health?
Actually, yes. Recent research suggests that mental health disorders are associated with changes in oxidative stress, which is directly related to biophoton emission. This has led to some interesting potential treatment approaches.
So our mental state might actually affect how we glow?
That's what the research indicates. The brain actually emits more biophotons during neural activity.
This is starting to sound less like science and more like science fiction.
But it's all documented in peer-reviewed research. These biophotons have been measured and studied extensively.
Let's go back to the Transfiguration for a moment. Why was this event so significant?
According to Christian teaching, it was a pivotal moment where human nature met God. It's seen as the point where the temporal and eternal intersected, with Jesus serving as the bridge between heaven and earth.
And this was witnessed by 3 disciples?
Yes, Peter, James, and John. Peter was so overwhelmed he offered to build shelters for Jesus, Moses, and Elijah.
That's quite a reaction.
Well, imagine witnessing someone's face suddenly shining like the sun. The text says they were terrified.
You know, it's interesting how these ancient accounts of divine light often involve fear or awe.
Yes, and that's consistent across different religious traditions. Light often symbolizes both divine presence and divine power.
And now we're discovering that we all emit light at a cellular level.
Exactly. Though obviously not at the same intensity as these divine manifestations, our bodies do produce organized, coherent light emissions.
Could this biological light have any practical applications?
Research suggests it might. Scientists are investigating whether changes in biophoton emissions could be used as diagnostic tools for various conditions.
That's fascinating. So our inner light might actually help us understand our health?
Potentially, yes. The research is still ongoing, but the implications are promising.
Let's talk more about Moses. Did his face stay radiant permanently?
According to the biblical account, the radiance would return whenever he spoke with God, which is why he used the veil when addressing the people.
Almost like a physical manifestation of divine communication.
Yes, and this ties into the broader theme of light as a symbol of divine presence throughout Scripture.
And now we're finding that light is fundamental to how our bodies function.
Right. These biophotons might be part of an essential communication system within our bodies.
It's amazing how science keeps uncovering these connections.
And what's particularly fascinating is how this cellular light behaves like laser light, organized and coherent.
Almost like our bodies have their own internal fiber optic network.
That's actually not a bad analogy. These light emissions might serve as an ultra-fast communication system between cells.
Speaking of communication, how did the disciples communicate what they saw during the Transfiguration?
The Gospel accounts describe Jesus' face shining like the sun and his clothes becoming dazzling white. They were clearly struggling to put this supernatural experience into words.
It must have been overwhelming.
Indeed. Peter later wrote about it, saying they were eyewitnesses of Christ's majesty.
Do you think there's any connection between these divine manifestations of light and our cellular light emissions?
While we can't draw direct scientific parallels, it's interesting that light plays such a fundamental role both in our biology and in these spiritual accounts.
It's like we're designed to resonate with light on multiple levels.
Exactly. From our cellular metabolism to our spiritual experiences, light seems to be a crucial part of human existence.
This has been absolutely fascinating. Any final thoughts?
Well, whether we're talking about biophotons or biblical accounts, it seems clear that light is more than just illumination. It's fundamental to who we are as human beings.
And on that illuminating note, we'll wrap up today's episode of Co-Pilot Podcasts. Remember, you're literally glowing right now, even if you can't see it. Thanks for listening.